1914. So I think we're in for a really competitive race.
I don't think it gets any closer than that. 1914 versus 1950. Racers are off and running. So right away into 1-1. ZZZ grabbing the mushroom. Strong indication that he's going to be going for big fire strats. And Scrimsion looks like he's maintaining small Mario for now.
Yeah, it looks like he went for flagpole glitch, so cool. Nice way to start the race. I think that is an indication of confidence.
I would say so.
But yeah, I really like these kind of races where you have divergent strategies.
Yeah, it's really interesting to see, especially if Scrimsion is going for small fire Mario, as I believe he is. It's interesting to see how you lose some time setting that up, but how it can potentially pay off later in the race.
So ZZZ with a really snappy 1-2. That's quite difficult to beat the fireworks here while picking up the fire.
Yeah, really well done by ZZZ. Yeah, if you do 1-1, 1-2 grabs efficiently and go aggressive in 1-2 like that, it really doesn't lose that much time compared to 1-3 and 1-4. I think it's something like 2 seconds.
Scrimson, not with his ideal mushroom grab, but probably fast enough to beat fireworks. It will be fast enough. He's going to jump right on the pole, and he's loving it so far.
Just beats out that 6, and ZZZ finishing earlier because he did not have to grab the power-up here.
So here's where we're going to see a little bit of a time difference, because Scrimson's going to have to take damage at the end of this level and wait for the bridge animation, and ZZZ's going to kill Bowser with fire and probably pull ahead, at least for now.
Really nice 262 for ZZZ, and Scrimsion got the small fire setup that he wanted. So he's going to be still in his big Mario state, but he's going to have the ability to grab a mushroom and fire and keep fire in small Mario state. So he gets the advantage of that small hitbox while also being able to shoot fireballs.
I gotta be honest, I'm really excited so far because they're both exactly to their game plan, and this really shows, like visually, the cost of the small Fire Mario setup. Right here is basically a perfect setup for both of them.
Yeah, with small, there's several advantages to having the small hitbox, but you first see it really come into play here in 2-2 because having half the size of the hitbox allows you to dodge these various crabs and fish. It looks like ZZZ did a duck swim because I don't see him shooting fireballs. Oh no, never mind. He is using fireballs.
You were proven wrong instantly, Bismarck.
I saw him sink to the bottom, but yeah, I guess he didn't stay there for very long.
So the time difference we're seeing between the two runners is essentially not skill-based at this point. It's just different tactics.
Really nicely done for Scrimsion, ending with a 3:10 on the timer. ZZZ also had a really strong 2-2, only one in-game second behind Scrimsion on that.
Alright, into World 2-3 with all the flying fish. It's much more difficult with Big Mario because your hitbox is too tall, essentially.
Yeah, you'll see ZZZ doing these duck jumps to minimize his hitbox size. Yeah, it's just one extra input that you have to worry about with Big, as opposed to Scrimsion. Just, can chill and jump as he pleases.
Yeah, Scrimsion just runs through, jumps a few times, no problem at all. They're both going to look for fire kills in 2-4, and basically you just want to watch for how much they have to slow down before they kill Bowser, and whether Bowser jumps a second time.
Really nicely done by ZZZ. Scrimsion had the forward Bowser, runs under, and also handles it quite nicely.
Yeah, still basically separated only by their strategy choices. Maybe ZZZ a tiny bit ahead from a faster Bowser kill there. How do you feel about the 3-1 staircase, Bismarck?
It can be scary. It's when it goes well, it feels like, oh, that's not too difficult. But yeah, it's really easy to kind of either miss the fireball shot or not quite land on the right staircase and take damage. But both of them handled it quite well.
Yeah, both exactly to their game plan. I'm sure they're both perfectly happy with where they are right now.
Nice job through to 3-2 for both ZZZ and Scrimsion.
With 3-3, there's not much to it. Once you have the layout memorized, it looks intimidating because there's a lot of empty space down there at the bottom. But once you have the patterns, the level is actually quite easy just to run through. They both run through it nicely.
3-4. I think first of several of the trickier fortress stages, in my opinion. If you know where you are in the spreadsheet, you can take it aggressively and run right on through. Looks like ZZZ played it a little safe. Scrimsion as well, at least for the second half.
Yeah, you mentioned spreadsheet, so there are patterns of various obstacles that, without notes and knowledge, appear random and essentially are random to a normal player. But some players have extensive notes and can know exactly what to do. But I noticed both players took that safe, so I think they're both winging it at this point.
I mean, 4-1, I don't think anything needs to be said for 4-1.
You know what? I think 4-1 needs a defender. It's too maligned. Why does everyone pick on 4-1? Things can go wrong.
They can. They definitely
All right, what
can.
are we seeing here, Bismarck? What's the routing we're seeing here?
Well, 4-2, you got two main options. You can take a stroll on the top and not have to do any of these piranha plant shots or what have you. Both choose to take bottom route. I think I've warmed up to bottom route myself recently. I wouldn't call the top route necessarily definitively easier. I mean, when you're Big Mario, it is pretty easy to bonk trying to get up top or on the way down. So
absolutely, the top route has two choke points: getting up and getting down, and you can screw either of those up. All right, we're into 4-4. Let's see if we see any ice skating Marios here. No buffer jumps.
Yeah, beginning of 4-4, that jump is a little bit tight, so some runners choose to play it safely. Both go for the aggressive strat. Really nicely handled.
ZZZ shoots the opening shots that get gobbled. Scrimson shoots the opening shots. One of them was gobbled. It's a frustrating 4-4 when you can't really get good opening shots on Bowser. But they both handled it about as well as you can.
Oh, absolutely.
Excellent.
Yeah, we're looking at, I don't know, there must be about 5 seconds between them. Pretty close race at this point. It's really clean. Most of the time difference between the two is really just coming down to that small fire setup that Scrimsion went for.
Yeah, clean is exactly how you would describe this. The time difference is just their different choices and tactics. Unfortunately, Scrimsion doesn't have a way to gain that time back if ZZZ just keeps plowing ahead like this.
Oh! Just as you say that, ZZZ almost took a precarious fall through the pit, and I think he was just so happy to get through there, he just ran through and didn't even care about the number on the clock. But Scrimsion making up some time.
Yeah, sometimes when you get scared, you get a little bit like overwhelmed in the old brain, you know, and things like fireworks that are normally okay. That was unfortunate for ZZZ. So Scrimsion now pulls ahead.
ZZZ. I mean, tough bill.
Scrimson pulls ahead, but in the grand scheme of things for ZZZ, this is not the end of the world. He's going to be able to get right back to Big Fire. I doubt he's going to pick up a power-up in 5-4, but let's see what he does.
Yeah, 5-4 is a tricky one to pick up. I have seen people go for it and try to get it fast enough such that you can still set up these ideal bars. It is pretty tricky to do, but it looks like ZZ pulled it off.
Yeah, I think what we saw there is ZZZ with just a depth of experience in this game, because 6-1 has 2 power-ups that are both relatively quick to grab, and 5-4 can be challenging as a big Mario. So I think he just showed his confidence in his prep right there.
Yeah, so he essentially, assuming he would have gone for the good bars anyways, he essentially lost no time with that pickup, assuming he was going to wait, so really nicely done by ZZZ.
Excellent point.
But grabbing the mushroom in 5-4 is, there's a lot going on there. It's certainly, I would consider pretty risky.
It's 6-2 now. Scrimson handling it perfectly with fire. This is a level that you absolutely need fire for, unless you can do a half dozen pipe jumps. Scrimson actually, did he just finish too quickly?
He did. He forgot to slow down at the very end there and got 3 fireworks.
There's a bit of muscle memory involved in slowing down just enough for that flagpole. Some people are out there developing new strats just to make the slowdown at the end of that level more consistent.
Would buffering a jump at the beginning of the stage cost too much time? Or I've never quite seen anybody really go for that, but
I don't think it's too costly, as long as you know that it does some benefit to you, whether slowing you down exactly enough or manipulating some randomness. Great 6-4 from Scrim.
Definitely. Oh, ZZZ takes a little bit of damage at the bar there, so it looks like he was also trying to set up the favorable bars, but if you get a little too anxious and walk, you kind of have to creep under that bar, and it looks like he just got hit, but manages to finish off 6-4 without taking a death, so still anybody's race coming into 7-1 here.
ZZZ there, just like you said, just went, I don't know, maybe just a frame or two too early under that bar. He was just taller than he thought. So now ZZZ is going to pick up 2 power-ups here in 7-1 if he can make it without taking damage, which is very, very challenging with these with the hardest hammer bro pattern you can have.
Double bottom, that's pretty tough. So unfortunate for ZZZ, he's not going to have fire entering 7-2, and as you can see, Scrimsion already ahead with a head start in 7-2. Fire is quite useful to clear your paths there. Whoa! Scrimsion with just an absolute devastating triple set of crabs there.
Yeah, they were piled on top of each other. That was not... Oh, and we have a whole new race. Scrimson loses his small fire glitch essentially permanently. He doesn't have a chance to set it up again. And now he's behind.
Yeah, there you see one of the flaws of small fire Mario is when you take damage, you go back into your big state with only the 1 health. So he was kind of in a tricky position there. Really unfortunate, pretty rough pattern that he got, but taking both damage and taking the death means that, yeah, he has lost his small fire glitch.
So it does look like he is ahead slightly. ZZZ took a hit in the middle of the swim. I think they're both small going into 7-4, so we've got ourselves kind of a wild ride because there aren't really enough power-ups remaining unless they pick one up here and an 8-2.
Yeah, but I wasn't sure if we would see both of them. I just had a feeling Scrimsion might have opted to remain small. Well, it looks like he's going to remain small, but not by choice because he took a hit there.
But we're going to see both runners with no fire for 8-1, so they have to play 8-1 without running straight through. I'm guessing they're not going to go for the 3 pipe jumps and the final Koopa plant jump, which are all quite difficult.
Oh, Scrimsion. Unfortunate fall there. He's got to be careful he doesn't reset the maze pattern.
He did.
He did, unfortunately.
That's extremely rare. Very, very rare to reset the maze pattern when you're small Mario. That's really unfortunate.
Yeah,
and now
for those
Bowser's guarding the X.
Bowser really didn't want him to pass through that X. Just a quick explanation of what happened there. So this is one of those maze fortresses where the rooms keep repeating. And if you fall in the wrong spot, you have the chance of the game registering it, thinking you're going the wrong way. So it resets the room, and that's what happened. So he had to run through that same section twice, which cost him a bit of time.
So it'll be interesting to see. Scrimson's a 456 any % runner, and he might know he's behind. So I'm wondering if he's going to go for this 3rd pipe jump, which is a big time save. We've seen a lot of runners go for this one.
So chooses to play it safe. Not sure if he's watching the restream, because I suspect he might have gone for that if he knew how close it was. Now, ZZZ entering 8-2 as Big Mario, he will have an opportunity to grab fire here, and I suspect he'll go for it.
Yeah, one thing we didn't get a chance to mention is that both these runners are advancing to the bracket stage. So what they're playing for is their seed based on their average time. So Scrimson might just be playing it safe because he basically has nothing to gain from getting really risky here.
That's a really good point. Oh, no.
He fired his body right down into that pit, unfortunately.
So, taking a death in 8-2, any death in World 8 sends you right back to the beginning of the level. No checkpoints apply here. Lakitu not giving Scrimsion a free pass whatsoever.
And now Scrimsion, unfortunately, is at risk of a game over in World 8, which is basically the biggest time loss you can get. But meanwhile, let's focus on ZZZ as he takes it home into 8-4.
ZZZ with a really well played 8-3. Chooses to use the invisible block to slow down just ever so slightly to avoid the fireworks.
So let's just admire this 8-4 from ZZZ and see how he does. Oh, beautiful.
Excellent wall jump from ZZZ.
Nope, I think he shorted that.
Did he short? Oh, okay.
I think we got a little bit of a...
I think his speed might have just been cut off, yeah.
Gave me a fright. Perfect turnaround from ZZZ. Amazing swim. Bismarck, take it home.
Final room. Just got to get through the Podoboo, Bowser's Hammers. Bowser was nice. ZZZ finishes his race with an excellent 1957 and a really, really clean 8-4. GG to ZZZ.
Oh, meanwhile, perfect timing. Scrimson into 8-4 as, I believe, real big Mario. Of course, okay, that's real big Mario. So he's got a little bit of give in the water section or at Bowser's Hammers. Oh, beautiful wall jump.
Nice wall jump.
That was clearly safe. That didn't confuse anybody. Nice duck swims. He is going to have to play this safe. And Scrimsion finishes with a 2055. Nice job, Scrimson. GG's to ZZZ for the win and Scrimson for a good time. Don't forget to follow both these runners. Hopefully we can get them in for some interview. I defer to you, Bismarck, to make that happen.
Yeah, I'm just checking in SRL to see if either runner is interested in an interview.
Yeah, I was presumptuous. I had just assumed we'd get some interviews, but we'll see if they want to come talk to us. What a fantastic race that was. I really enjoyed that. I don't know about all y'all.
Oh, that was a great race. Really interesting to see the diverging strats, and there was a couple lead changes as well. Really came down to, I think the defining moment was the unfortunate 7-2 where Scrim lost his small fire setup and had to come back from that deficit. But it wasn't over at that point. He still managed to keep it close entering into World 8.
You said it, Bismarck. It was a race, I think, that was characterized by really, really large chunks of perfect play, which is a treat just to see. Kind of Mario played so well by two racers at the same time, and then a few mistakes, lead changes. It really had it all.
Looks like Scrimsion's going to be joining us shortly.
Yeah, Scrim can join whenever he's available. That sounds great. Why don't you start it off, Bismarck?
Scrimsion, are you there?
Hello.
Hey, Scrimsion. GG on the race.
Thank you.
I know it didn't quite end the way you would have perhaps had hoped, but
yeah, that was quite the night, quite the roller coaster of a race.
Yeah, you guys kept it close, and it was just really excellent gameplay across the board. You had a really clean run going into World 7 there. And I had just mentioned earlier, 7-2, some of those patterns were pretty rough. Can you walk us through kind of what happened there?
Okay, so I entered 7-2. I had practiced this level before, but before I did the race, but there's nothing that could have prepared me for the patterns I got. I saw the blooper. That one blooper going up, so I tried to swim over it, and then I got like two cheat sheets right at the top, so I tried to swim over them and try to snipe them, but I guess I just got hit somewhere, and it really threw me off, and I tried to click power up in 7-3, and then I got hit there as well.
Yeah, things are basically off your game plan from there, and then you took it down to one life in World 8, which is probably the scariest thing imaginable.
Oh, I was terrified, especially going into 8-3. But
right,
the roads were nice.
You did pick up a power up, it looked like, which I think is the move you probably should do every time. So
'Cause
it's
I did
sometimes
hit
hard to
in
force
8-4.
yourself because you're an 80% runner and you're like, I got this. Let's run right through. GG to you, Scrim. Your win or lose, I think you're on to the bracket. So
Sweet.
So now you're just at the mercy of the seeding and in your own prep for your next race. So what do you think you want to work on in the meantime?
I think I want to do some strats for the later world for like small Mario or big Mario, because I usually do my practices like small fire Mario, but I need to start doing some practice for if I do lose power up, which obviously I did here. So I need to come up with some better recovery strats so I don't get like all frantic like I did and start making dumb mistakes.
Yeah, do you have kind of a cutoff point for when you sort of would no longer consider going for setting up small fire again in the event that you lost it like midway through the race, or do you just kind of play it level by level?
I mean, since I lost it in 7-2, there was really no point setting up again, because then I would set up in 7-4, which means I would start playing World 8 as big small Mario, which would be that would be a disaster.
Yeah, I don't think there was.
But if I lost small fire Mario in like World 2 or World 3, I probably would set it up again, just because I like having it for like World 6 and World 5 and 7.
One thing we did notice was you were exactly, almost perfectly to your game plan into 3-4, and you took it safe. So is that your race strategy, even if you are sort of on your notes, to just not worry about dealing with the cognitive load of notes and spreadsheets?
For races, I usually try not to use the spreadsheet because I feel like it's going to throw me off. I tried PB strats for all the levels, especially since I knew I was going up against ZZZ, who is incredibly consistent. But I still wanted to take 3-4 safe, just because I didn't want to risk losing power up that like early on in the race.
So you didn't have spreadsheet open. I assume you didn't have the read stream open either. Yeah, that's a common. I think a lot of runners. There's enough to think about just on the race itself. And
so you're saying that it was really close at one point?
You guys were basically synced up. Well, I think you had a slight lead going into 7-2, if I'm not mistaken.
I'll have to watch the race back.
And then
Scrim,
I think you maintained. Yeah, I think you maintained your lead even exiting 7-2. So it was a really, really close race, and just
you probably
really
got ahead of me then in 7-3, because I went to go pick up a power up, and then I got hit again. Oh my gosh, I forgot. I looped the maze in 7-4. That was so annoying.
Oh yeah, we didn't want to bring that up.
Oh yeah.
I completely forgot I did that.
But yeah, I don't want to spoil it for you, Scrim. So you're going to have to see what happens in 7-2 for you and for ZZZ. But what we did see was essentially like a tutorial almost for the time difference between big fire and small fire. You were just behind by that exact amount for many worlds because you both were playing every level essentially perfectly.
Oh, cool. This sounds very interesting. I will need to watch this back.
It's a great race.
Ballad says I was ahead until 7-4 still. Okay. I mean, that makes sense. I'd lost a good 10 seconds in 7-4 from looping and not killing Bowser with fire. Maybe even more than 10 seconds.
Yeah, I believe you both went for the power up in 7-3, and then I think you lost it immediately.
I did. Freaking cheap.
And then 7-4 I think is kind of when ZZZ pulled ahead a bit, but it's still it wasn't over at that point. Really close race right up till the end, and I think you guys put on a good show. I mean, taking a loss in Game 3 when you have a 2-0 If you're gonna
Yeah,
take
I don't
a lot
mind that at
playing
all.
time.
Moving on to the brackets, I'm completely fine with that. Just have to see what goes on after this.
Yeah, I'm going to go out on a limb and speak for everyone and say that was an impressive display of Mario athleticism from both of you.
Well, thank you very much. Glad
So-
to have been here and raced against ZZZ. GG's to him. I know he can't join commentary, but GG.
GG to ZZZ and GG to you as well. And looking ahead at the bracket stage, is there any runner that perhaps you would like to be matched up with?
Ooh.
Come on, spill it.
Honestly, I'd really like to go up against Miniland or Veluxino. I haven't raced them Warpless before, and they both had really good Warpless times.
Yeah, you guys are all like almost within just a few seconds of each other in PBs, so that sounds like a very exciting matchup.
Yeah, Veluxino has 1918. I have 1915, and Miniland has 1913. So we're all within a couple seconds.
And for Miniland to advance, that means something has to happen, Mustache, doesn't it?
Oh, I'm not sure what you're talking about, Bismarck. I'm going to play. I'm going to play confused on this one. You guys are going to have to tune in to Miniland GT Ace over the weekend.
So that was Scrimsion's discreet way of saying he's really afraid to face you, and he hopes you get eliminated before that.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I was just going to say GG one last time to both ZZZ and to Scrimsion on an excellent race. Scrimsion, any final words before we send it off here?
I don't think so. I think that's all I've got. It was a really good race.
So everybody make sure to follow the racers. I'll put the link in chat. And thanks to SpeedGaming, and thanks to my co-commentary host, Dr. Mustache.
Oh, well, thank you, Bismarck. And GG again, Scrim and ZZZ.
All right, with that, I think we'll end it there. Thanks, Scrim. Thanks, Mustache.
Bye, everyone.
Yeah, thanks, everyone.